HGTV, I'm Color Me Courtney and I can't wait to show you around my colorful home. Come on in. We're here in my home in Palm Springs and it's obviously very colorful. I'm Color Me Courtney, so I'm all about color and joy and happiness, and I just really wanted my home to kind of reflect that. So we have this kind of warmer area where you start in the home, where we have a lot of yellows, a lot of pinks, a lot of oranges that you're kind of seeing here in my outfit, but you'll also see here in my home. Each room in this house has a different color, so everyone has kind of a different feel, a different vibe. So let's start here in the dining room. It's all kind of like revolving around this sunset theme. So I spent a really long time looking for wallpaper, and you'll notice there's a lot of wallpaper in this home, but I loved that this one had a few different tones of pinks. And I like that it had this palm print because we're gonna play on that theme throughout the house since we are in Palm Springs and I love a theme. So we built this banquette here out of like this nice velvet pink fabric. And I just kind of feel like it invites anyone in to kind of hang out, enjoy a meal, and just spend some time together. One of the things I really liked about this home when we bought it is that there was all these like circle spaces that makes it so different than like the average home. So I like that this had this circle wall, and then we built the banquette to match, and then of course did a circle table. Even up to the chandelier, all kind of revolving around that same theme. Over here, that continues in the kitchen, and it all kind of revolves around this circular design. I just think this was one of the most exciting things I found when I was looking for homes, because you never see circle kitchens like this, and so that's why I had to have it. This home was actually built in 1969, and all of this was originally brown. The counters were black, and we just needed to brighten it up with a white base so that we could add layers of color on top of it. So switching this out to be white was a really great way to start. And then I always just feel like kitchen should be yellow. I had a yellow kitchen in my apartment in New York. Yellow just feels like one of the most fresh, positive colors. And so I feel like it just makes sense to have a yellow kitchen. But there is actually a lot of white space in here. The yellow really comes from the paint behind this wall and then all of the accessories. So I have like my yellow stand mixer, some yellow knives. I made sure to put some things on display that kind of felt warm and fresh and yellow and kind of bring all of those positive vibes in here. This house is very much a work in progress. You will see that as we go room by room, but I'm thinking of maybe painting these yellow or doing like a yellow tint eventually. Until then, I've just stored like different yellow cups in here. And so things that we're gonna be using every day, like cups and dishes, can still be on display and kind of leaning back to that sunny theme that we have here in the color. Eventually, this back side of the curved kitchen, I want to become a candy bar. Like I want to build in candy shelves behind there. But until then, I just did like a little makeshift candy bar because I love candy. So yellow is one of the zestiest colors, but it also could have more of like a functionality purpose. It could be more of a focused, attention-driven color. So we have this area here where I do a lot of my work. It's kind of like my desk area, but I wanted to make it happy and positive, especially since if I'm gonna be staring at a wall all day, it needs to be a colorful wall with a little bit of art. We have this yellow wallpaper here, and it has kind of this like starburst Sputnik effect, which is something that's true to Palm Springs. It's very like a mid-century modern icon. So I like that they played on it here with this wallpaper. This space kind of ties all of the colors together. We have the yellows, the pinks, and the oranges, which are actually represented in one other part of the room. But before we get there, we have a little bit more yellow to look at. Specifically, we have this banana, which this is probably the one thing in this room that should be yellow, but it's not, but that's kind of funny. So this is the orange conversation pit, and you actually step down into here kind of to create that like sunken vibe, which is very true to Palm Springs. This room in general is just very Palm Springs because you would kind of sit here with your two chairs and be able to enjoy the outsides without actually being outside, which is really great. It's just a very like relaxing vibe. Palm Springs is like a time capsule of a town where they have all of these mid-century modern homes. They even have Modernism Week, which happens twice a year, and it's just like a celebration of all of that. And I just wanted to capture some of the whimsy of Palm Springs into my home, but also make it very me. And one thing that I love is an amusement park. Specifically, I love Disneyland. And when I found this teacup chair, I knew I just had to buy it for my home. My partner really didn't think we needed it. And I just thought that was the most insane thing ever, because what would we do if we didn't have this teacup chair for our home? When we bought it, it was actually beige and bland, and that didn't work for me. So we had to recover it and do it in yellow and orange and pink that just kind of ties the whole sunset room together. So now that you've seen the sunset kitchen, dining, and conversation pit, it's time to show you the living room. But first, costume change. All right, let's go. So we're here in our green room, and green can mean a lot of things. It represents rebirth and growth and so many different elements. So we kind of wanted to pull all of those into this room, but we also did a lot of black and white in this room, because sometimes to make color really pop, you have to let it breathe, and using like the contrast of black and white can kind of offset that a little bit. The biggest thing in this room is the sofa, which is very fun, very comfy, and as you can see, white, which might be a little bit of a surprise for me. I looked and I could not find a green sofa that I really wanted. I could find a lot in like that emerald color, but I couldn't find like a bright apple green. So I decided to go with white instead and cover it in green pillows. This is one of my favorite pieces here in the living room, and it's our big chandelier. I got like the biggest size that you could get. I used to work in the stock room of the designer of this light, so being able to have one here in my home feels like a totally full circle moment for me, and that's just really exciting. If I wasn't painting a wall, I wanted to make sure to add wallpaper, and I did that right back behind me. Let's step on up, because just like our conversation pit, this is a sunken living room. And here we have the textured wallpaper that we added. This is actually grass cloth, so it's not like normal wallpaper. It has like a little texture and kind of makes it feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more earthy. Since green is such a natural color, we wanted to keep those elements here in the room. So we have some kind of animal elements. You'll see this giraffe behind me, which is one of my favorite features in the room, but the giraffe couldn't be here alone. He needed a friend. So over here on the other side, we made sure to add the elephant, which is actually my favorite animal. Paris loves giraffes, I love elephants, so we both had to have them featured in this room. And this is not the last elephant or giraffe you will see in this house. And so now I wanted to show you one of my favorite rooms. Follow me into the circus. So this is a really special room because I designed it for my son. It's his like nursery, playroom, his circus, which I think is really cool and fun. Obviously, there's some stripe situation going on here, which hopefully creates the illusion that you are in a circus tent. I have wanted to do this on the walls for like 10 years. It's been like on my Pinterest board forever. And so when I had the opportunity to build it here, I really wanted to lean into it, but it took a lot of math and a lot of planning. Specifically, we had to build our own wallpaper. So I designed it to fit in this space because I wanted the lines to line up and not be like all wonky with the built-in bookcase. So I had to design it that way, and we wallpapered inside the bookcase, all of the walls of the entire room, and then painted the ceiling to match. And we made it kind of go up towards the top in like this like point effect so that you really feel like you're in a big top circus. I love wood toys. I just think they are fun and cute and nostalgic. They also double as decor, so lots of wood elements. And oh look, have you noticed? So many elephants. One of the other fun elements we added to this room to stick with the theme is this popcorn cart. It also doubles as storage, so there's like extra diapers and things hidden in here. A little bit of a bookcase situation going because we are overflowing with books for the bookcase. Some more on display here. There are some blankets and towels, anything extra just hidden in here because we just want to make sure that things are working in a functional way, but also a really fun decor way. One of the things that is really special about this room is there are a lot of gifts that were given from different friends. This one specifically was made by a friend, this baby blanket. She also made this baby blanket over here. It says Color Me Baby, which is so cute. This corner is the nursing corner. So again, a place that I spent a lot of time in the first year of the life, sitting in our yellow rocking chair with the matching ottoman, and just kind of being a great area that we would hang out and nurse constantly. But now it's someplace where we might like sit and read a book or do other things. So just another thing that's evolved with us as he's gotten a little bit older and we've all been able to grow up together. But if I sit here any longer, I'm gonna fall asleep, and we have more rooms to see. But first, outfit change. All right, that's better. Come on into the purple room. Oh. In here, we're playing with one of my least favorite colors that I never thought I would design a whole room around, but here we are. There's a lot of like this mid-century modern energy going on in here. So we kind of have this retro futurism playing out with like a 70s, almost space age inspired feel. The big kind of hero moment is this metallic wallpaper that we did. This came originally in a much smaller scale, but I contacted the artist and asked her if she could scale it all the way up, and then had it printed in metallic paper just to kind of give it that like retro futurism feel. And I painted this wall in like a purple tone that kind of marries to the rest of the room without being so matchy-matchy, because I kind of like having things that aren't quite perfect in a home. They just feel a little bit more real, a little bit more lived in. I also like when we can add a little personality to things. Like I love Lego bricks, so I found these little Lego brick guys and I styled them here. But that's not the only Lego we'll see in this room. But before I show you that, I want to show you something really special. So over here we have a really cool art piece. This is What a Wonderful World, and you maybe noticed the subject because it's me. My mom's best friend Rita was a really important figure to me growing up, and she painted this of me when I was like 10 years old because she felt like it was a really important time in a girl's life where she's like waiting on the world and she hasn't quite grown up yet. And so she drew me as a fairy, and I have like this cute little ballerina outfit. I just think it's a really sweet and special piece. Unfortunately, we lost Rita a few years ago, but it's so special to have this piece of hers here so that even if she's not with us, she's always with us through this work. Now let me show you one other corner of this room. So this corner is a little bookcase that we reworked. This was an existing build-in in the house, and so we added some wallpaper in the back. It's a different kind of wallpaper, but we're still in that same color scheme. And then we kind of just accessorized with a lot of pink and purple accessories that kind of match back to the theme. Lots of space elements and things that feel powerful and passionate, just like our color purple. Anything from a vase to this Lego, which I really love because it looks like a galaxy, and then there's even a little "you are here" moment kind of sprinkled in there. This was really fun to put together and make, but having it displayed makes it even more special because then it's something that I got to work on that I still get to share with everyone else. So we're here in the pink bathroom, and I just feel like so much of your day starts and ends in the bathroom. Why not make it really fun and really pink? We did some like pink textured walls with this wallpaper, bringing in that grass cloth, but made sure to wallpaper every inch of this so that when you're standing in it, it feels like you're in bubblegum. It's a really bold way to celebrate this color. Maybe you thought this was a wall, but actually it's a door, and there's a whole other part of this bathroom. Come see. So in here we have another pink room that all kind of centers around our pink striped shower. We found this really fun pink tile in this like cool hexagonal shape, and I just love that it plays with shape and pattern to create a really bold, impactful moment. Instead of hanging a shower curtain like a normal person, I decided to do two separate ones, and let me show you why. Anytime that you can add more whimsy, more drama to your world, why not? I think you should. It's been a long day, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. Now it's time for a treat. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.